Welcome. Quickly, here we go again. I like my team. We're off to a good start in practice. We're working extremely hard. It's one of these teams where, like last year at this time, I was trying to get them to practice hard. This year, I think they've got that figured out. We're practicing hard, and we've been getting better. We were really moving quickly for a while. It slowed down a little bit, but it's a fun team to coach. I don't know. I've heard teams say people say we have a young team. I feel like we're much more experienced than we were last year. We got 8 of our top 10 guys back. The 3 freshmen become sophomores. We had 3 physical guys. We're a much more physical team. We played a private scrimmage last week, which was good just to see where we are. We're a little bit more physical than we were last year, which is good, which is what we were trying to do. So, it's a team that's coachable, pretty intelligent team, and so far so good. So we'll see as we get started this week in front of some people, and then about 8 or 9 days away from our opener. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
If you can please wait for the mic and say your name and affiliation. We'll have mics over on either side. Don, we can start with you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, welcome.
Hey, Mark. You made the comment that I think last week you said something like 17 and a half out of 20 practices were pretty good. How much is that a reflection of the young guys and obviously a guy like Sean coming in terms of their ability to step right in without sort of waiting, making the other guys wait for them?
Yeah, I do think the 3 new guys and have caught up. We didn't slow down for them. Now, since that speech, we've had a couple ankle injuries that have slowed practice down a little bit, but the practice has still been good. But I do think Daryl's a quick learner. Bruno's a quick learner. Obviously, Sean Obi's been 2 different programs, a little bit older, so he's been able to do it. But practices were really competitive. When everybody's healthy, they're really competitive, and we got a competitive group, and we've made a lot of competition in practice. I think that's really helped practice. The guys were trying to win each drill, so we were getting a lot better quickly during that stretch.
Hey, Coach. Jason Dumas, WDVM. You guys are going to rely a lot on your sophomores this year, Kev and Justin. How has their summer been? I know Kev was playing with USA Basketball, and are they kind of aware that there's going to be a big burden on them, kind of, so to speak?
Well, yeah, we're going to rely. We relied on them last year quite a bit too. So hopefully, I think they're much more prepared. They're much more prepared in practice. They're much more prepared in the summer. How they handle things academically, they're further along. They're more prepared for what lies ahead. I do think every one of them has gotten a lot better. Anthony's really playing at a high level. He's doing a great job. I think last week in practice he was like 18 assists, 4 turnovers, which is really, really good. So he's improved. He's shooting the ball well. And just every phase he's gotten better. And he has a better understanding of what I want out of him, which is good. Kevin Herter's naturally just gotten better. Knows how to play, feels more comfortable. We're doing more things for Kevin, putting the ball in his hands a little bit more. We're doing different things. And we're still putting it in the system, and we're nowhere near where we're going to be, but he's improved. And I think Justin Jackson, he's one of those guys now that is much more competitive every day, plays harder every day, has added to his game. Now, there's a lot on his plate because he played primarily at the 4 last year for us, and he's playing some 3, so he played bigger lineups. So he has to learn that. Plus, we're doing some things differently. He's playing the 4 also. So right now, there's a lot on Justin's plate, but he's really improved his body. He looks great. His body fat's good. So, those 3 guys had terrific freshman years, and we feel like they're going to step up and be a big part of what we do.
Roman, right here.
Mark, with Melo gone, just in how much he kind of dictated with ball screens and just how much the system ran through him last year, a few years before that. How much different will the system, I guess, look this year, and just how much more balanced for a guy, especially like Kevin? Will he get more opportunities at like the 2, and will you see more opportunities for a guy like that?
Yeah, and I think our system will look a lot the same. Are we trying to do? We're doing some different things in our small 4-guard lineup. We're doing some different things, which I think is going to be really good for us. Yeah, and Kevin is going to be more involved. I think late in the year last year he was pretty involved. You think about the Northwestern game, the Xavier game, he really played at a high level, was more involved for us. But I think everybody, Anthony will get more opportunities, Justin will get more opportunities. Justin will play differently at times when he's at the 3 for us. He'll be in more ball screens. So yeah, I think last year Mello was 71% of our ball screens. We won't have a player at that number this year. The rest of the team was 29%. It'll be more like, across the board, 40, 30, 30, whatever, whatever those numbers are. But yeah, be more guys involved.
Questions? Chris in the back.
Mark, Chris Shield from WBAL. Just the new schedule with the conference starting in early December. What are your thoughts on that to get right into it pretty early on in the season?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think we agreed on as coaches because we wanted to have a little bit of Christmas, let the players have some time off. And I think last year we played and we gave the guys 2.5 days off. We had to bring them back on Christmas, and that's just not right. So by playing those 2 games in December and one at home where our students are here, which would be great, we just felt like it was the right thing to do, and gives everybody a little bit of a break over Christmas. And it's going to be a really big grind for us this year with the tournament a week earlier. If you look at the schedule, it's just game after game after game after game. So we kind of had to do it. I think I did it when I was at Wichita State. We used to do it, and I didn't mind it. I might not feel that way on December 6th this year, or whatever, but I think it's a good opportunity for us to play in front of our fans, get a couple out of the way, and just it'll be a little bit better for the student athlete as the year goes on.
Peter.
Peter Schmuck, Baltimore Sun. Mark. Getting back to Mello for a second. As great a player as he is, players get to a point where they're ready to move on. When you have a great player like that who's so central to your program, is there a point where, as a coach, on a positive level, you're ready to move on, move forward from that player?
Oh, I don't know. Mello was pretty special, and he did a lot for our program, did a lot for me. So, if Mello would have played here for the next 20 years, I wouldn't have minded it. But obviously, he has moved on. So you have to move on as a program and as a coach. You just move on, and we had a great feeling down deep that was his last year. We were going through the year, and so we prepared for it as best we could with the guys we recruited. And so yeah, I don't know. You have to ask the guys. I don't know if practice feels any different. Still running the same things. I've been doing this long enough to know you lose great players and you move on, and great opportunity for some new guys to come up and be a big part of our program. But he was special for us. He really, last 3 years have been a lot of fun, and Mello obviously was, a huge part of that.
Heather.
Heather McDonough, NBC4. We kind of sticking with the Mello theme. I mean, he became the leader. He was the obvious leader, even if he, didn't want to be, the vocal person at that point. Now you've kind of got this 3-headed monster. I mean, are those guys the ones that you see taking over the leadership role? Obviously, even Devontae last year, LG Gill, the older guys. Are these sophomores, now that they are sophomores, taking more of that leadership role? Are there some other guys that, are doing what they need to do?
Yeah, I think I think we have a bunch of leaders on this group, and I think it's a really easy team to lead. We have a lot of really good guys that are coachable guys that are really about winning and doing the right thing. So are there more guys involved like Jared Nickens? Yeah. Even Bender. Those guys lead a little bit for us. But, Checo's been here a while. Deion Wiley stepped up at different times and been a leader. But I think the guy that's the most natural, guy that likes to talk the most and kind of gets it the most is Kevin Herter. Now, I'm not saying he's our leader. I'm saying he kind of gets it and he just naturally does it and doesn't even know he's doing it, and does a good job with it. But even like Justin Jackson, who's a very quiet person, has become more vocal, more comfortable with who he is within our system. So I just think it's a real easy team to lead. I don't think it's going to, at this point, we haven't lost any games yet either. So, it's a good team to lead. I think we got a bunch of leaders and a bunch of guys that follow the right way.
Yeah, Bruce Posner, CBS Radio in Baltimore. Coach, you've had some good success in the Big Ten so far. Do you recruit to the Big Ten philosophy, maybe bigger, stronger, tougher? And is this team more geared to it? And also, what do you think about the move to 20 games in the Big Ten? Is that too much?
I don't think we recruit to the Big Ten. I think it's a myth that the Big Ten's bigger, stronger than other leagues and slower, as our guys I recruit against like to say. It's a fast league. We got a lot of different teams. Where Purdue was a big, strong team last year, and you have some finesse teams. There was obviously, we felt like we were a little small last year at times. We were obviously very young. And it was hard for us to compete on the boards. What I have heard is that you need to get old to be successful in this league, and we kind of haven't figured that out yet. Now, we've been pretty successful, second, and third, but we haven't been old. And I think Des Wells, that was a pretty old team, and we had a heck of a year that year. Wisconsin, who could have won the national championship, had finished ahead of us, but we were right behind them. So, trying to get old is what we're trying to do, and do it the right way. But so we'll see. But we recruit what works for us and works for me. And I was lucky enough to be around a lot of good coaches, so I can coach a lot of different ways and just try to figure out how to win. 20-game schedule, it's a lot. It's the Big Ten thinks that it's one of those things where we'll get more teams into the NCAA tournament. Okay, so we used to play 16 games. We averaged 6 teams or whatever, 5.9 teams, and all of a sudden we go to 18 league games. We averaged 6.9 teams or whatever it was during that stretch. So they think that we're going to get up around 8 teams in the league because our RPI is going to be so high. So we'll see. It's a lot. It's hard, and there's so much. Each game, our league's really good right now. We added 3 new good coaches, and it puts a lot on the players. But it is what it is, and so I think we'll keep that format where we play 2 games moving forward in December, and then play 18 on the backside.
We have Don right here. Don.
Marcus, Baltimore Sun. In terms of what you've seen from Checo this preseason, obviously last year he struggled from even before preseason started with injuries, and it sort of carried over throughout the year, and then obviously the broken foot at the end of the year. But what have you seen from him, and now that he's a senior, do you see him being able to be, sort of a very productive, consistent guy that he's shown flashes of being?
Yeah, well, let's say this. He was out for about 6 months, maybe 7. I lost count. He was out for a long time. He really started going full speed like 2 weeks before practice started. So when we started practice, which was, I don't remember what it was, the 30th or whatever it was, the first, he was limping pretty good. His ankle was 100% sound, but mentally he wasn't there yet. And so it's been a real process for him. He's always trying to protect that foot. When he jumps, he'll land on the good foot, not the other one. So it's more of a mental thing for him. Now, I have seen in the last 7-8 days, he's continually gotten better. And yesterday was his best practice of the year. And actually, I didn't see him favoring that foot yesterday for the first time. Now, he might have been, but when I went back and watched film, I didn't see it as much. He was much more confident. And we're playing through our post more this year with Bruno and him and even Bender. And, we're going to post Justin, at the guard. We'll post Kevin some. He's getting a little bit more confidence down there because we're throwing the ball in there. Last year we never really threw the ball in there. So it's giving him a chance to get more confidence. So we'll see, Don. Can't kid's had bad luck. He's been hurt a lot, and he was hurt every day last year. There was never a day he wasn't hurt. So knock on wood, he's heading in the right direction right now, so we'll see.
Barry.
Barry Spurlock from the Washington Post. Mark, the sport as a whole kind of opens in a weird situation this year. I wonder, since that story broke, what's your discussions with your colleagues, fellow coaches? Have there been any? Have you had any introspective moments about the sport that you're in and what needs to happen going forward?
Well, I've had a lot of conversations that's between me and them, and things that we've talked about. It was unfortunate what happened. I think we were all shocked in our business that it was the FBI that was involved. So that took it to another level for a lot of people, including the public. I think we have a great game. I think we have a great sport. I think the majority of us do it the right way. And I think college basketball is going to be really good this year. I think we have a lot more better teams than we've had in the past. So I'm excited about that. But because of what's happened, we have to fix it. And I don't have the answer. Now, I've talked to Jim Haney, president of NABC, and I've told him privately, between me and him, what I think could help. And they put this commission together. And there's a lot of things that need to be changed. And, they're going to meet 3 or 4 times. I think I read the other day they're going to try to meet 3 or 4 times and then, come to us and as coaches and figure out what the best thing is. But I think we're a year away from major changes. It takes time, hopefully sooner. But we have a great game, and it was disappointing. But hopefully we can learn from it, and off the court we can become better. Because I think on the court we're going to have a really good product this year.
Lamar Johnson, Testudo Times. You brought in a couple playmakers on the bench. And Daryl Morcell, Sean Obi, how are you really trying to make sure the offense keeps up the ball movement once they start to go to the bench?
Yeah, well, I don't know who's starting, to be honest with you, Lamar. It's day by day with us, but I do think we have a chance to have a deep team this year if guys stay healthy. You're talking about 2 guys that have been hurt a lot. And Deion's hurt right now. He twisted his ankle in the scrimmage on Saturday, minor, but not practicing. But I do think with Jared Nickens' experience, Deion Wiley's experience, Checo, Daryl Morcell is a really good player. I don't know who's starting. I really don't. I know probably a couple guys that are going to, as of today. But I do think we have 9 and a half guys that really can play a little bit. So let's find that rotation, keeping guys healthy, keeping guys confident. And I think we can be a deeper team than we've been the last 2 years. I don't know if we'll be better, but we can be a deeper team.
Coach Dave Preston, WTOP Radio. What's impressed you about the freshmen so far this year? What do you expect from them? And you've had a track record here of getting a lot out of guys just coming into the program. What do you think it is about your program that allows that fosters that?
Well, unfortunately, every year guys have had to play as freshmen because guys leave, guys move on, and it's hard in college basketball today to really build it and keep guys around, and guys, it's just a different climate. But with that said, I like these 2 a lot, and I'll start with Daryl, a local kid. Daryl's playing multiple positions for us. Daryl gives us a defender on the perimeter that we, really needed. He's got great size, good rebounder. He's a winner. He makes plays. He was terrific in the scrimmage on Saturday. It's a guy that loves to compete and loves to do the right things to win, and is not afraid to do all the dirty things, little things that help you be successful. So he's going to have to play multiple positions. It's going to be tough for him doing that. He's going to be our backup point guard as of today. We'll see moving forward. And then he'll also, play a lot on the wing for us because of his size. So be a lot on his plate. But I really like Daryl. Love his attitude. He works hard. Really improved his shot since high school, shooting the ball well for us in practice. Bruno Fernando is one of the hardest playing dudes I've ever been around. Now, he's been hurt, so had a high ankle sprain. He's been out about 2 weeks. We hope to have him back for the opener. Don't plan on having him Thursday for the game. He's starting to do a little bit in practice, do a little bit more today in practice, hopefully. But he's a hard-playing dude that we really haven't had. I guess he's a 6'10" Des Wells, kind of, plays that hard, that competitive. He plays to exhaustion. You put him over on the sideline, give him a little Gatorade, and he comes back out and does it again. The kid's amazing. Shot blocker, great rebounder, very vocal. Our big guys are very vocal. And we really haven't had one like him. Athletic, skilled. He's a good player. So fans are going to enjoy him. It's just getting him healthy and getting him back to 100%. But I feel really great about both those young guys.
Kyle.
Kyle Melnick, the Dimeback. Coach, I know you enjoyed having the 2-point guard lineup last year. I mean, how much has Ant enjoyed taking complete control of the offense now? And also, does that open up other opportunities for Kevin at the 2 now?
Yeah, well, I think Anthony just has a better grasp of me. Last year he was thrown into it. He had a terrific year, but now I think he understands. It's the second time through, the summer, second time through the fall, second time through the first practice of the year, and all that kind of stuff. So he's really gotten better. So we'll play big lineups with Anthony at the 1, Kevin at the 2, Justin at the 3, and then 2 big guys at the 4 and the 5. So yeah, Kevin was a point guard in high school. So me being a point guard, Deion Wiley played a little point guard in high school. Darryl Morcell played a little bit in high school, more with his AAU team. And so I like guys that know how to play and think the game a little bit. But I think there's going to be more opportunities for both those guys, Kevin and Anthony, to help us be successful. And, they're both good with the ball in their hands. I mean, Kevin is really good in ball screens. He uses his size and has a good feel, and he plays with a good pace. And then Anthony's just so darn fast. He can get the ball wherever he wants. So those two are going to be a big part of it. And they were last year, but I think their role will be even more significant this year.
Coach Terry Cook, College Hoops Digest. I know last year at one point kind of begged teams to play zone defense, but there was definitely some struggles. Is there anything that you've done strategy-wise this year, or utilizing the new players to kind of attack that weakness that you had?
Well, I don't remember begging anybody to play zone. Maybe I was begging them not to play zone. But, I think we have a very smart team. We did win at Iowa, and they played zone the last 30 minutes of that game. And, we didn't – what you go back and you watch film and you see the shots that you're getting. And really that's what it comes down to. And I think we were, getting good shots. Have we addressed it? Yes. But, I know early in the year we played Syracuse, probably going to play a little 2-3 zone. So hopefully by then we're much further along in our zone offense. Anybody else on the schedule, I don't know yet. But we're just kind of getting started with that. Unfortunately, I didn't have the guys all summer. I wasn't with them. Guys were overseas or injured or not in school yet. We never had enough bodies to really practice this summer. So I wouldn't say we're behind because we have more veterans, but we don't have as much in as I want. But I don't see that being a problem for us. I think we're going to be a really good zone offense team, and it just really comes down to making open shots, and if you don't, trying to get second chance points.
John, last question in the back. Last question.
John McNamara, Annapolis Capital. Was wondering if you've had any particular message for Anthony this year, or anything specific that you want from him. I mean, you're probably going to have to ask him to do more. You're probably going to have to try and tell him not to take too much on his shoulders. I just, kind of don't know what kind of conversations you've had with him or what you've talked to him about with Melo gone now.
Well, I don't think it's all about Anthony. Anthony's playing terrific. I think what my message to Anthony is make the right decisions. So if you're open, you shoot it. If you got a chance to pass it, read the situation, because we have a read and react offense in everything that we do. So it's about making the right decisions. If Anthony does that, we're a much better offensive team. So I don't want to put that kind of pressure on Anthony that he's filling Melo's shoes, because he's not. We got a whole group of guys, and we have a nice team. And so really my message right now, because you're just putting it all in, man. Every day you're overloading these cats, man, and you're putting this in, you're going, and it's overwhelming to them. And so, but they're further along because they're sophomores. Anthony's further along, but let's try to get that in, and then as we get closer to games, so we learn some from our private scrimmage. We'll learn something Thursday, but as we get closer, I think Anthony knows the message is just make the right plays and get the ball to the right people at the right time.